John Murphy, he's been calling the Bills action radio play-by-play for 19 seasons now. We thought we'd check in with John to gauge what's in store coming up this weekend. John, what are the plans for the game, and is there a plan B right now?
Yeah, well, there is a plan B, but it's not public right now. But yeah, the plans are 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. I just listened to a pretty respected weather forecaster here who said by Sunday it'll be over. There won't be any new snow on Sunday. It'll be sunny actually on Sunday. But it's of course the lead up to Sunday, including starting tonight at 7 o'clock until maybe tomorrow evening 7 o'clock, Thursday night into Friday, where there could be as much as 2 to 4 feet of snow. So we'll see.
What would be plan B in your opinion?
Well, I mean, they have 8 years ago the move to Detroit, right? And that's been talked about a lot. It was a pretty successful move. Actually, it was right around this time of year in 2014. There was a bad November snowstorm. And the difference is that occurred on a Tuesday, and the Bills got out of here a little bit earlier than they would at this point. But they would go to Detroit and play that game. The Lions are out of town. And so they would play at Ford Field, probably 1 o'clock on Sunday. The Bills would lose that home game. And actually, the Bills play Thanksgiving Day in Detroit also, 4 days later. So maybe they stay. I don't know. But I haven't been apprised of what their plan is. And they a million scenarios as to what could happen. Right now, they're still planning on playing 1 o'clock on Sunday, but we'll see.
You think the Bills want to play whatever it takes to be able to play this game at home instead of we can play, a neutral site and play in, sterile conditions there in Detroit?
Yeah, I think they'd rather play at home just because at this point it would be a pretty major disruption of the routine, right? I mean, they practiced yesterday, practice scheduled today. They have an indoor practice facility, the same on Friday. To pick up everything and move it would, I think, entail a lot of upheaval, and I don't think they're up for that. As I said, the forecast is for sunny skies, and they're used to playing in the cold, so I don't think they're afraid to play in wintry conditions Sunday. Even if it is sunny, it'll be chilly and maybe a little breezy. But yeah, I'm sure their preference is to stay home, to play at home and not pick up the whole operation, not even considering the amount of revenue they could lose if they have to forego a home game. That's a lot of money down the drain they wouldn't have.
What's the fallout been from the loss to the Vikings?
Oh, it's not good, but I think they're in good shape. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird fan base that almost expects the Bills to go to the Super Bowl now. And I think, and you've been around a long time like I have, and you think nobody should have an expectation to go into the Super Bowl. The league is so competitive and is so evenly matched that they have an expectation to go into the Super Bowl that I think is unrealistic. However, the Bills have lost just 3. Last Sunday, losing to Minnesota was a tough one. Minnesota's a pretty good team, and they lost in overtime on a game that had maybe 4 or 5 plays that if either any of them had gone the other way, then the Bills would have won. I mean, they were evenly matched, if not slightly better than Minnesota. So I think they need to get back on track. They need to start this week against a decent Cleveland team who'll be ready to go and have their backs up against the wall. But I think the Bills clearly have more, even with the injuries the Bills have, they have more talent than the Cleveland Browns, but they've got to play like it. And the big question, of course, is Josh Allen, right? I mean, he's got to play better. He's had a rough couple of weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. And I think I don't think it's a physical question as much as it is right now. I think he's pressing too much. He knows all the injuries they've had defensively, and he's probably pressing too much, trying to make up for some of the injuries they've had. And it's come back to haunt him with all the red zone interceptions for them in the last 2 weeks.
Where do we stand on a new stadium for Buffalo?
Well, the shovel should go in the ground next spring, right across the street from Highmark Stadium. It'll be a little smaller stadium. It'll be open air with a covered canopy over most of the seating. But the plan is to get the construction started next spring. They've got a few other loose ends to tie up before that actually happens, but I think they're on target to have that done.
But open air, they're going to still invite the elements in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a dome is kind of cost prohibitive. And to be honest, I was thinking about this today. This is the 49th year of the stadium here in Orchard Park. And so far, there's only been one game forced in those 49 years, one game forced to move. So there's, the fans can kind of put up with it. They will have more covered seating to get them out of the rain and sometimes the cold rain and the snow that will fall. But yeah, it's going to be open air, especially over the field. It'll be totally open air.
Good luck this weekend, John. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Dan.
That's John Murphy. He's been calling the Bills play-by-play on radio for 19 seasons.